Yo YouTube, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video presented by yours truly. And in today's episode, guys, what I want to talk to you about is how you can read the daily time frame. Okay, so for a lot of you beginners out there, or for anyone who's been struggling with this particular concept, I'm gonna help you out massively. Don't worry about it, guys. JB is here to turn you all into some sick ass profitable traders, savages. That's what I'm looking to turn you guys into, some forex trading savages. But before you become a savage, you've got to become the little guy. You got to be the guy that nobody really knows, and you got to be the guy that nobody really wants to be before you can be the big psycho savage. And what do I mean by that is that you guys have first got to build the foundation. Okay, if you guys ain't got a solid foundation in technical analysis, you're never going to be able to effectively read a daily price chart. And this concept, guys, it's exactly the same for the daily. The daily is exactly the same for the weekly and exactly the same for the monthly. All right. So make sure that you guys are laying down the solid foundation. So what's the first thing that you guys are going to need to be aware of? Well, let me tell you. Okay, if you guys don't have a clear idea on how to be identifying trends such as this, higher highs and higher lows, and with a downtrend we got lower lows and lower highs, and also being proficient at recognizing when the market is consolidating, then you guys have got no hope in hell. Okay, because this is going to make your life so much easier when you're looking at the daily time frame. All you really got to look at it is from the perspective of this. Okay, simply look out for the trends and simply look out for the consolidations. Okay, and when we're in a trend, what are some things that we really got to be looking out for? Okay, well, the first thing that you got to be looking out for is if price is clearly trending. Okay, you want to be marking off the higher high, or the previous higher high, and then the previous higher low. Okay, so that's for when price is trending upwards. You really want to be making sure that you're making notes of the previous higher high and also the previous higher low. And the exact inverse is true for a downtrend. Okay, you want to be marking out the previous lower low and then the previous lower high. Okay, so why are these levels specifically important? Well, guys, these are the levels where you are going to decipher when the trend has changed and when you could be taking some nice trades. Okay, so once you recognize this and you're able to recognize when trends break, so if price was to come and do something like this, okay, and also do something like this, then guess what? The trend has shifted and you're going to now be looking out for, well, not looking out for, you're going to be marking this level, okay, and also this level. Well, you should also be marking out your, current higher highs and lower lows. Let's put that in there too. So mark out your current higher highs and also mark out your current lower lows. Okay. So once you've got this notion in mind, guys, then with the few next things we're going to be looking out for, okay, are, let me put here, things to look out for. Okay. Multiple wick rejections. Let's actually put the full word in. Multiple wick rejections. And then I guess what we can say is major key levels. So what does a major key level look like? Well, it looks like something like this. Okay, let's say, for example, on the daily now, we're seeing something like this. Okay, where price is doing this, comes back up, goes up here, comes back to there, comes back down, does whatever. Okay, and then also wants to just maybe have another nice little trend, and then boom, come back up to that nice predetermined level. Okay, so why is this level important? Okay, well, some of you guys could say that this is a consolidation, and what you'll see on the daily time frame, that's just not true. Okay, these kind of levels where price has been bouncing off from massively are so important because they're most likely going to be weekly or monthly levels, and if they're not, then they're just strong levels in the market that you guys have got to be aware of. Okay, so I never actually spoke about why you should be using the daily time frame. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have jumped into this because you just want to read it anyway, but just for a quick thing before we go forward, using the daily time frame and being able to read it is going to provide you with such good knowledge on where price is potentially going to go. Now, it's not always guaranteed, okay, but if you are able to read daily trends, right, and read daily charts and be able to decipher where price is going to go on a daily level, then you're probably going to have a much better time on the lower time frames when you're taking your trades. okay? But that is a completely different thing entirely. Let's go ahead and just look at some examples, okay? I'm going to use the replay mode just to go back in time. We don't really need to see any recent data. So where are we at? 2022, okay? So this is going to be the process that you guys follow. I'm not going to be doing no annotations, so just get a notepad out and just listen to what I'm telling you, okay? First thing that you're going to want to do is identify the current trend of the market on the daily time frame, okay? Remember, this is only the daily time frame. Once you can see that, for example, you see a situation like this, we are all the way bearish, okay? Then what you want to do is mark out those structure levels, okay? We're going to mark out our current lower low, we're going to mark out our previous higher low, and then we're going to mark out our previous lower low. And can you see how price has reacted to that level and now it's pushing down? Okay, but what do we also need to be aware of? Okay, this is the most important thing, guys. When you are looking at the daily chart, these very recent highs and lows are so important. Okay, I don't care how you want to define it. If you want to do it as a line or you want to do it as a box, just make sure that the bare minimum that you're doing is marking out to the bodies. Okay, that is absolutely the bare minimum that you guys should be doing. Okay, why is this important? Well, because if you're going to be trading the daily time frame, then you need to be aware of these key levels because price could react from them. As you can see here, we got a bounce by there, okay? As we can see there, price bounced, and as we can see, it's probably going to bounce back down, or it does whatever it wants to do, okay? So this provides you with areas where price could be, you know, where price could reject from or do whatever it wants to do, okay? When you look at a situation like this now, you can kind of say to yourself, well, I know that the overall trend is to the downside, okay, because this has been marked out by this key level right by here. For whatever reason now, price is making higher lows. So are we currently in an uptrend? Well, for the time being, we absolutely are. But let's just, before we talk about single candles, let's go ahead and just see a little bit more action just to see what price wants to do, okay? So now that we've allowed time to kind of do its thing, there's a few things that you can do by here, okay? So if we can see that price has been traveling in this direction, okay, right? And then we get to a day by here, and because we've marked out that this is a level which price could react to, remember what I said, your previous lower lows and your previous lower highs, you could potentially look to take some trades from here. It doesn't mean that the trend is guaranteed to be respected, but what it does mean is that you can start looking for these trade opportunities, okay? But the other things you got to be bearing in mind is when price is making internal structure, right, as opposed to the external structure. So the external structure to the downside, but the internal structure is currently to the upside, okay? So what do you guys do in a situation like this, okay? In my opinion, when price gets to around here, it's probably very confusing for you guys because you're kind of in this bit where it's like, you know, the overall trend is to the downside, but price is going up. And in this situation, it could literally just go up or it could just go down. What do I do? Okay. In my opinion, guys, it is simply what you want to do. But if I could give you kind of a surefire way to kind of be okay, this is going to have to be found out on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame. Because if I'm honest, guys, if I saw price like this, okay, if I woke up in the morning and saw this, I'm thinking that we have a much higher probability of price coming up by here. Okay, simply put, because price likes to react to these key levels. It likes to get drawn to key levels. So that's basically what I'm thinking. So I probably would have taken a loss by here. Okay, but what I'm also thinking is that if we just delete all this stuff and we just focus on the recent price action. So let's just say we keep this in mind. Okay, we keep this in mind as well, right? You know, and we keep this in mind too. But as we can see, price has not really been respecting it. When you see a situation like this, you've always got to try and follow the current structure that price is giving you. So if we just look at this right now and don't look at anything else, okay, what can we see? What we can see is we had this structure right by here, which has been marked out by the wicks. Price came, broke above, and now look, it's respecting this structure. So is it fair to assume that price is probably more likely to carry on in its trend up to this major key level? Most likely, in my opinion. Okay, if we hadn't had that break above and price was doing something like this, where all these wicks were to the upside and we didn't get that nice clean break denoted by this candle right here, this one here, guys, then I would say sure. Okay, but because price respected it and now it's pushing up, you guys can start to take some trades there. So all you really have to do, guys, is simply follow this, okay? Because what does price do? Sometimes it comes down, it's going to exhaust and it's going to retrace. Where's it going to retrace to? It's either going to retrace to the previous lower low, or it's going to retrace to the previous lower high. Are there times where price will come up by here, okay, where it'll come back up and then it will literally at random just completely go back down? Of course it will, but that's your job as a trader to sort of find those clues and be able to take those trades accordingly. But it's also possible that price could come and react to this level. It could go down if it wants to, maybe for a little bit, or if it really wanted to, it could go down by here, and then it can go off and do something like this if it wanted to and go up, or it can just ignore all of that entirely and just want to go up anyway. So you guys have got to make some calculated bets, but in my opinion, if you are simply following this movement, okay, when you see price by here is giving you signs that it's pushing up, then follow it. Don't be expecting and don't think to yourself, well, the trend is down, so I've got to take some sells. No. Especially with the daily time frame, follow the direction that price is giving you, okay? Use this as your guide, but don't use it as your Bible. What you guys need to do is when price gets to these levels, look for some kind of evidence that it's going to go in the direction that you expect it to, okay? So let's carry on going. So if we're by here, like we said, we could take some trades to the downside if we wanted to. That would have been, you know, a nice trade right by there. So price came up and then pushed back down. Okay, so now we're at a little bit of a sticky situation, okay? You guys can be taking trades if you really want to, you know, up to this key level. Or you could be taking some sells by there, right? But what should we really be doing right now? It gets a bit tricky in my personal opinion. If this was, right, I'm going to be talking to you as if it was me. In this situation, what I'm thinking of is that, okay, I got this key level by there. I've got this nice bit of range that I can trade to, right? Because we've hit this key level and we could definitely go up to around this key level by there. Then that's exactly where I'm going to go. I've got my markers, I'm using them as a guide, but I'm more so going off the current movements of price, okay? So there, price wanted to break down, so we're thinking to ourselves, okay, does price now want to follow this direction and go all the way to the downside? Well, we've got to put a few things in mind, okay? We have to take in mind this current structure that we've got by here, okay? So we're just kind of following that. We're seeing where price wants to go, okay? So I'm thinking to myself, okay then, does price want to follow this structure and go all the way down by here? Or does it want to follow this structure and push all the way up? Well, because it's gone down a little bit, I think we're stacking the odds of our favor if we sell again. Now, price could just go ahead and go up and do exactly what it wants to do. And as I say that, it absolutely does that, okay? So it's getting a little bit confusing, but if we're thinking to ourselves like this, well, do you know what? If price wants to come back down and then price is pushing up, then we're simply going to follow it. So we may have taken a loss by there, and we may have thought to ourselves by here, okay, we're going to push up, right? Now we can potentially take some buys to the upside. Okay, so you see what we're doing, guys? We're following price and as to where it wants to go. We could potentially, if we wanted to, maybe take some sells by here if the market would allow it, but it says nope, we're still going up. So this is where you simply are playing like a 50-50 game, okay? Are we going to go up or down? But here we are. This is providing you with much more clarity, okay? Why do you think now we have much more clarity? Because what we have by here is this. Okie dokie. There we go. When we see something like this, boom. That's it. That's what we're looking for. We can see that price has shifted trends and boom, there we go. We're going to enter in that direction. So right now, this is really good to take some buys, okay? Because you've got the uptrend that's been confirmed now. Price is already showing you that it's in this overall direction. So let's go ahead and do that. We got a buy by there. Okie dokie. Remember that we're going to be following price, see what it wants to do. It's kind of showing us some rejection right now. So we could potentially be going down, but there's two things to bear in mind. Price is either going to come down by here or it's going to push up. In my opinion, it's a bit undecided. I don't really know what price wants to do. Okay, all right then, it's showing me that it wants to come down. That's quite a lot of momentum, but following this structure, okay, like this, what we're expecting price to do, okay, is respect either this key level or this key level. Okay, but if price wants to sort of come down by here and make some trends, then we could go ahead and follow it until price gives us a reason that it's going back up in the opposite direction. Okay, hope that makes a bit of sense. Let's carry on going. So we could probably be thinking we could take some buys now. And there we go, we get a nice bullish candle. Where could we mark out a key level? Maybe for some exits on the 4 hour, 15 minute, whatever you're trading, or if you simply want to trade, the daily, that's absolutely fine. There we go. Price exhausts a little bit as expected. So we can see, guys, the main pointer for this is that when we mark out these key levels, price seems to really react to them. Okay, it doesn't matter what we're doing, price always seems to react to these recent key levels. So this is why I think it's so important for you guys to focus on these recent key levels, you know, but you're also using the trends and internal structure, etc., all, you know, all in your arsenal. Okay, so as price comes down by here now, okay, this is another key level, right? Remember I said, guys, right to the bodies. There we go. You want to mark it like that. I'm thinking we could probably go back to that key level, or no. It wants to, oh, it came back up and rejected it. Does it want to come back? Hang on a minute, that's a bit of an awkward level, but sure, we could mark that there. Price could bounce. Okay, does it want to bounce from this level? Nope, it absolutely doesn't. So that's no problem. So what we can see is price has broken that structure by there. So looking at our overall trend, okay, this is our previous higher low. So we're literally following the exact opposite situation that we had by here. Okay, so we're seeing if price wants to respect this structure, which I don't think it is. So we're either going to be trading until price gives us a reason that we're going to be going up, or it'll just come down by here and then we want to go up, or it'll just say F that and completely go down. Okay, so as for the moment, we are still bearish. I'm thinking to myself, yep, we're still bearish. It's reacted to this previous level by here. Still bearish, still bearish, still bearish, still bearish. And now, okay, so now I'm thinking to myself, well, we actually have turned bearish, because for me, price has broken that low completely, and now we've got a few key levels that we're going to bear in mind, which is this key level, and then we've also got this key level by here. So price has again shifted trends to the downside. You see how simple it is, guys? Just got to follow this model. That's literally all you have to do, is follow that model. Okay, when price comes like this, it's broken trends. When price comes like this, it's broken trends. Boom. There we go. Just follow that structure as it is. Follow it when it's going up. Follow it when it's coming down. Follow it when it's breaking new highs. If you want to take some sells by here, go ahead and do that. Just keep on following price. If you do that and you're trading what you're seeing, you literally can't go wrong. So in my opinion, we're still bearish, baby. Okay, fine. We retested that level. Let's go again. Okay. It wants to go up. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. What I'm thinking is that we're in this portion right now. Or hang on, by here, we're literally in this portion where we're just going to be probably retracing up for a little bit. So let's go ahead and take another buy. Oh, today we take a loss. No problemo. Okay, this is a major, well, not a major key level, but it's just a key level that we can potentially take some trades off. Oops a daisy, or it can go ahead and do that. Okie dokie, fine. So it did go ahead and just want to retrace. That's no problem at all. So there, I'm still bearish for the next day. Cool. 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 Okay. Now what have we got by here? Now we have a major level. Okay, we've got a major low in the market. Okay, price has not traveled below this lower low, or this low, for a very long time. So we could see a bounce from this level. So in my opinion, I don't trade the daily time frame on itself. I always pair it with the 4 hour and the 1 hour, but this is just so you guys can have a little bit of an idea as to how to read the daily time frame. So when you're able to read it in this scenario, as we're doing now, all you need to do is do something like this. Okay, if I think that the daily time frame is going to bounce from this level, let me go ahead and see if it will be reflected on the 4 hour. Let me see if my buys will be reflected on the 1H, and you just follow it like that. Okay, because if you were following it like that, you wouldn't have seen any buys, and you literally would have just seen sells, and therefore you probably would have taken some trades to the downside. Let's keep on going. Price comes to retest this level and keeps on pushing down, still pushing down, still pushing down, and there we go. We get a nice push. So does price want to come and bounce back down? For me, I'm thinking price could bounce down back by here, or it could potentially keep on retracing. And there we go. It bounces back down. So I am all the way well, I can't be saying I'm all the way bearish, right? I'm seeing how price reacted to this level and I'm thinking, well, it kind of just smashed back down. So we do have a little bit more rejection by there. You can see by the wick. So we could be bullish on this day. Not looking likely. And there we go. So do you know what, guys? I'm going to call it there. If you just keep on following that, then you're going to be very, 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 very well versed in reading the daily time frame. But guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Please leave a like, drop a comment and subscribe. And I shall see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye for now.